day probably was the second round, the first invites. Then that's typically the philanthropy day. You'll go around to each chapter that you're asked back to, and you'll learn about just kind of their general philanthropy nationwide. I thought it was useful to personally ask them what they did here at KU, whether they had a cupcake sale, like a softball tournament, just kind of different ways that they interacted with the Greek community.
Also a great way to kind of interact with other women because you get to go to every chapter's philanthropies, even if it's not your own, and you get to see what every chapter really has to offer, and it's just a really nice way to kind of interact and meet other women and have those informal conversations.
It's another type of social event that helps out and helps give back to just the greater cause.
Yeah, and it's definitely a great way to get to know the women in other chapters better and kind of see what they strive for and what do they like to do, and it's a great way to get on board for what you want to be a part of.
I also thought that the crafting portion of it was a lot of fun because you kind of get to do something with your hands and kind of interact with them and create something while you're talking to them, so it kind of gives you something to think about to relax you during the day. So it kind of helps with that part as well, so you're not as uncomfortable and the conversation flows a little bit easier while you're making something for that philanthropy.
Personally, I was horrible at the craft portion, but if you are, it is perfectly okay. Just say, honestly, crafting is not my thing. Can we just talk about the ideas? And they are perfectly okay, and they will go with that, because I remember I would prick my finger, I would get glue, I would get all this stuff on me. It's okay if you do not participate in the craft.
Yeah, but it does give you a lot to look forward to. You hear about all these events that'll be going on throughout the year, and it's really a great way to get to know the women in other chapters and just have a blast with the women in your own chapter, and you kind of get to see that from early on the second day. So I love that.
So make sure you ask a lot of questions on the second day because it is Philanthropy Day, and just kind of see the mission of each chapter.